That way we can start rolling, make sure we respect people's time for jumping on.
Okay.
Um, and so my name is Natasha Janelle. I am your host for Talking with the Land People. And I appreciate everybody for coming on today and chatting with us and being a part of spreading resources and being building community together. So we want this to spread like wildfire, right?
Gotcha.
Um, and so this evening, there's a few things I actually wanted to cover. Right now, the Grow Well project is under a USDA grant, which also we had to deal with things dealing with the freeze. And so now we're in a space where we're in forward movement, and we are showing up as we are as the land people, and that's landowner agribusiness networking and development. And this is what our team does: Judy Richburg, myself, Natasha Jonelle, and Cynthia Mitchell. And so I did want to talk about the freeze. I don't know if there are any farmers that have ran into a wall dealing with funding that they're getting from a grant, and just to kind of talk about and about what we can do. What are some things that we can tap into if we know of anyone that's currently funding and or not afraid to fund? I'm finding out that people that do have funding available are afraid to fund out, and then there are some who are actually helping the community. And just for a few that I am aware of and I wanted to share, if anybody was interested in taking some of this stuff down, if you don't already know about it, but there is the Persimmons. Persimmons is currently right now, they had one that just closed out and where people can get up to $10,000. And it was about where you can do infrastructure. Um, it was about community building, working together, and it leaned heavy on those that were coming together, working together to be able to fund and do things in a community where, again, we wanted to spread like wildfire. Rafi has a grant out right now. It's a called a stipend, and it's for new and beginning farmers. I think it's farming within 2 to 3 years. Just need to check that and make sure, but that's Rafi, capital R, capital A, capital F, capital I. And that's anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. Saffron has a grant out. You currently have to be a Saffron member. If you are not a member, Saffron is a great initiative to join. Dealing with agriculture, and theirs is $10,000 as well. And always want to push about the South Carolina Black Farmers Coalition. If you don't know about them, is definitely a coalition that is a need to know. Um, Everything that they do is about family. They're all of the members, their family. They'll come out hands on deck and help, and they continuously are pushing to um, support the farmers. And even if you just want to support, if you're not a farmer, they have an opportunity where you can join in and support as well. And then we also have Southern SARE as well. So opportunities are out there where there's funding available um, for us to tap into. I know NRCS also has funding, but because they are a part of what comes through with USDA. And so as of right now, I haven't heard from our local office that anything has been delayed or frozen dealing with any of their programs. They're supposed to be moving forward. I would check with your local NRCS to see what that looks like. And so I just wanted to let you know we always have an opportunity to access volunteers and interns with the school system. The school systems have agriculture programs, and these college students, they need internships. You know, a farm is still a business. There's social media, so there's marketing that has to be done. There's sales, there's customer service, um, there's STEM that is there's STEM that is within agriculture. And so it just offers up a lot of opportunity for us to go beyond what we see that's right in front of us dealing with agriculture. But it's showing with this new administration, we're going to have to think outside the box, and we're going to need to come together if we want to make this thing work. It's all about community. And keep in mind also,
Uh-oh.
corporations have volunteer
Same
days
thing.
like Comcast,
What the
T-Mobile,
heck?
and that's just to name a few. I know of those because those were previous companies that I worked for. Get your information out there, send letters in, let them know that you exist, your business exists, the farm exists, if it's a nonprofit, and you know it is an opportunity to get some additional hands on deck. And again, just some out of the box thinking for those, if you haven't thought about these things or know, definitely want to share in some additional resources. And again, I appreciate everybody for joining on this evening. And do we have any questions before I introduce our lovely host? Well, excuse me, I'm the host, our guest speaker, excuse me.
And you're lovely too.
Well, gratitude. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much.
Okay, I have one question.
Yes.
I'm I'm kind of new to this, and I'm tuning in because of my lovely friend Joyce that I've known over 50 years. But
Hmm.
um, are you talking about only farms that are actually working farms, or are you talking about those of us who want to start planning and start, you know, getting into that? I mean, like an individual. That this is not about individuals, right? It's only about larger farming areas or whatever.
No, this is so if you are interested in starting a farm, that's what this phone call is about. It's about new beginning, women, and veteran farmers. And we're here to provide resources. And a lot of these, excuse me, let me backtrack. Okay. So this is all about resources. We want to guide you and help you with what you need help with to get your farm started. That's what we're here for.
Okay.
And so it's in order to get to the big farm, you got to get a little farm, so everybody counts. Everybody
Okay.
counts. So we're here for it. And a lot
Gotcha.
of
Thank you.
these current grants that are being offered by Persimmons and Rafi, and um they're geared toward the new farmers. It's all about getting more people to grow.
Enjoy a lot of the trainings and workshops that we've attended over the years. Provide so much information online as well as in person. I went to one just a week ago in Columbia, and it was a resource for anyone who has a farm or garden or what. It's just whatever your agricultural needs might be, from doing something right there on your deck or your back porch and up to acres and acres and acres of land. So,
Okay.
uh,
Absolutely.
but yeah, but this is a good network just starting here with this group here.
Okay.
Great question. I appreciate you for asking. Anyone else? All right. Well, that's all right. We will get to the belle of the ball. So, Miss Joyce Bell Winkler is the third child of six children born to the late Leon. Leonard or
Leonard.
Leonard? Okay,
Leonard.
Leonard. Yeah, that's a thing in my family. My dad goes by Leonard, but his wife said, "You know your daddy named Leonard." Okay. And
Ah,
Annie Mae Page Bell of Ridge Spring, South Carolina. She graduated from Ridge Spring Monetta High School in 1971. Joyce attended the University of South Carolina, College of Nursing in Columbia, South Carolina, and earned her Bachelor's of Science degree in nursing. In 1985, she received a Master of Public Health degree from East Tennessee State University in Johnson City, Tennessee. Joyce's professional career as a registered nurse offered her an opportunity to work in a variety of healthcare settings. For 43 years, she held various administrative positions and conducted research activities and programs in South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee. In 2013, Joyce moved back in her sprawling 130-acre family farm with a large freshwater fish pond in Rich Springs, South Carolina, which is located in Aiken County, to be with her aging mother. She continued her professional career while commuting from Ridge Spring to Columbia. In September 2018, Joyce retired from Cooperative Health, a federally qualified health center, where she served as the principal investigator of the National Health Institute's of All of Us research program. Currently, Joyce serves as a national participant ambassador of the All of Us research program. Back on the farm in Ridge Spring, Joyce is the founder and president of Abella LLC since 2022, a family owned business that is currently marketing Mom Bell's Chow Chow, a family heirloom recipe. Additionally, Joyce has been working with her farmer brother, Leonard, Leonard Bell Jr., to grow and market vegetables to the local community. She also is collaborating with her two female cousins, business Bell's Grace Farms LLC, towards expanding the business to include building a greenhouse, a conference center, and guest housing. The Bell family farm is currently being developed into an agritourist business, having hosting our first festival, the Sand Hills Ag and Art Festival, in October 2024. Joyce served as the first president of the Johnson City, Tennessee alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc., and is currently a Golden Life member of the Columbia, South Carolina alumni chapter. She also serves as a board member of the South Carolina Black Farmers Coalition Foundation. She is married to Preston H. Winkler, the co-founder and secretary slash treasurer of Abella LLC, and parents of 3 adult children, 9 grandchildren. Joyce's hobby include photography, traveling, and baking breads using her 15 plus year old starter. I like to welcome again the belle of today's ball, Miss Joyce Winkler.
Thank you so much, Natasha. And I don't know if I sent you all of that, but good grief. That's a lot. But I'm so grateful that I've been asked to be a part of this wonderful group of Black women who have just inspired me from the first time I've met them, with the Grow Well Aiken County, and now with the land program that they are working, network that they're working under at this time. So with that being said, I've got slides, so I'm going to get started with our slides. So I hope you can see my screen. Can everybody see the screen?
yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Wonderful. So again, you saw the first screen, which is I call it the highlight of where we are here with the beautiful pond uh, across the road where I'm sitting right now. But this is all because of these two people, my grandparents, Albina Green Bell and Arthur Bell, who, again, at such young age, to decide they wanted to own their own property. So with that being said, in 1927, December 15th, my grandparents purchased 75 acres of land. for $550.
Mm,
It's just
amazing.
amazing. Yes, it is.
Yes. Mind blowing.
And there you see Arthur Bell's name on there in the track of the land. And again, I think about
Wait a
it.
minute, Joyce. I'm not seeing all of that.
Okay. Is everybody else seeing my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes.
Well, why am I not seeing the screen? Hey, Benita.
Yes, I can see it. This is Pam Moore.
See
Okay.
Arthur Bell and all that.
I
Okay,
touched Joyce's picture, touch the little picture as mine shows up, and it'll make it big and put Joyce small.
Okay.
oh, touch Joyce. Let me see.
So maybe your view, Joy, the view you have, check your view,
Okay.
your layout of your
o-
view.
Okay. Well,
Um,
view.
Joyce,
Okay.
Gerald joined so he can hear your presentation.
Hi, Gerald.
Whoa.
If you're using an
Okay.
iPad or an iPhone, you'll need to swipe over to see the full screen, and you'll be able to see the shared screen.
Okay. I'm just
Is that
in.
my daughter, Roz?
It is. I took a
Okay.
break from rehearsal so I can listen.
Thank you, daughter. Is my other
Okay.
daughter on too?
I'm using the iPad and I have the
Yes,
full
I'm here,
screen.
Mom.
Okay.
All right.
I'm using my laptop, but I'm not. Joyce made the screen. Oh, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So this picture is a photo of my father's siblings and his parents there. As you can see, they're all young, as we all were. And again, I'm just delighted to have these photos of them. It was 9 children. They had a sister, Lucille, who died in childhood at age 5 years old. And these are my parents, my mother at age 18 and my dad at age 21. My dad had just gotten out of the Army, and he met my mother by way of my dad's sister at high school, Aiken Schofield High School, where I guess he caught mother's eye and she caught his eye because mother left school and they got married. And that was in September 1948. And then my dad wanted to build the first home for he and mother here on the property. My grandfather gave each of his children a lot to build. So my parents built the first home here, and I'm sitting in the space where that first home was built in 1948. And there we are, the 6 of us. So that was from let's see, Linda was born in 1949. And Cynthia, you were born in 1961, right? That's my sister, baby sister. And Sherry on the other picture there.
Yes, 61. I'm still the youngest.
Oh, okay. So what did my parents do? Well, my dad, I guess, had that visionary spirit like my grandfather and said, well, this other acreage, why don't we just buy it all up and make it all one big lot for the Bell family? So in 1967, my parents purchased the adjoining 68 acres, and you can see that on that warranty deed there that we're all listed on. So we are 143, not 130 acres. I had to do my math, Natasha. I had to go back and say, oh, I missed out 13 acres. So we have a 143-acre farm. And this is a view that was taken from a drone. And that's what we call the back section of the family farm. And it shows the 2 homes there, my grandparents' home, and I'll show you more of that later. As well as my Aunt Libby's home place, which was the original homestead. And that's the other side where the pond view is there. And now you can see other homes, which are the home that I'm in here, and Uncle James and Aunt Mabel next door. So what was on this farm? Well, obviously it was a working farm. We had all sorts of animals, cows, chickens, pigs, horses, dogs, rabbits, a goat. So it was busy, and crops were everywhere. Not only did my father farm our land, he farmed other people's land. He leased land from some of the women who were widows. And we had places everywhere. We had watermelon patches here, we had corn patches there, we had hay fields there, cotton fields everywhere, it seemed like. But there was a lot of crops being grown. So this is a picture of the cows that I would be looking at if I was sitting out on my porch right now. That's the field that they would graze in. And for some reason, on Sunday morning, these cows found a way to get out, and they would make our lives a little challenging before we got ready to go to church, because then Daddy would say, we got to round up the cows. That's what we did. Dad had a lot of cows. And this picture shows the back of the house. You see the smokehouse over there. That's where obviously there were meats kept in there. And that smokehouse is now a storage house that we're using right now, of which Helene took the top of the roof off during the storm that we're waiting to finish getting repaired. But you can see we got dogs there. You know, you just always had farm dogs everywhere and trucks. That was part of it. And then you have the back side of the house where you have the barn, the chicken coop, and just, you know, the other farm, a field area in that area. And that 1960-something Chevrolet belonged to my grandfather before he got another car. And my brother, that was his car when he went off to college. That's the one he drove. I think we call it the Batmobile. Anyway, now we also had a pig parlor. And you may say, what's a pig parlor? Well, my dad decided to build a cinder block building down here below the pond, where the pigs were enclosed in this area, and the water, of course, from the pond could be used, like with the cows in the field, to give them that hydration. But this is what got me. Y'all, I tell you, I hated these cotton fields. We had cotton fields in a lot of places, and I never thought that was something I should be doing. And I found every opportunity to get away from that field. So I learned how to drive a school bus so I could get away from the cotton fields. I joined the basketball team so I could, again, spend as much time away from this farm. I did not want to do that. I don't know if I mind the garden as much, but it was those cotton fields that got me. So now I've gone off to college, but I'm coming back because my parents, my grandparents, excuse me, are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary in the fall of 1971. This is really the first time I'm back home, having left to go off a few months earlier in 1971 to USC. So this was their 50th wedding anniversary, and this was held at the original homestead of when they moved and got married and lived here. So this particular location was where their original home was, an old wooden house. And that's where the celebration was held, at that location. Aunt Libby owned that property there. She wanted to build her home on the original site. So again, that's my parents and my father and his siblings and his parents. And of course, we were there. And you know, back in 71, we all had those big afros, didn't we, y'all? So, and short skirts. So that was the look for many of us. And then, of course, my parents had a wedding anniversary in 1984, their 35th wedding anniversary. And we were all there to be a part of that celebration. The hairstyles changed somewhat, and definitely the clothing. Look at those dresses now and skirts. My goodness, we went from short to below the knee. So currently, the family home where I am right now was built in 1948, and it's been remodeled to where we are today. And in September of 2020, we were able to celebrate my mother's 90th birthday here. You know, that was during COVID, so we were very cautious about being all up in the house. So we did a celebrating outside of the home for her. The second home that was built back in 1952, which we call the Little White House now, is the cinder block home that my Uncle James and his daughter, Stephanie, are working to do some renovations, but we used to host when we first moved back here, or moved back home, gatherings there. So we've had dinners and we've played bingo. We just make sure that home was given the attention it needed, so it wouldn't just be sitting there without living creatures and people there celebrating. The third home that was built on the homestead was my Uncle James and Aunt Mabel's home, which is next door to us, in 1956. And that photo shows Uncle James' 90th birthday celebration. It's something about 90 around here. We are long livers, which is wonderful. And so that home was the third home that was built here. And then the last home that was built, the fourth one, was in 1965. And again, it was the original site. That was my Aunt Libby's home. She moved from New York back here. And currently, Preston and I own this home. Okay, so we're going to do some talking about some changes that were very big changes in my life and Preston's life. I got up there her room because when we lived in Columbia, I had this room that was my special room, and her did not mean me, her. Her stood for harmony, enjoyment, and relaxation. And this room was really a place where I could go, and Preston and I could just read and relax and listen to music. No television was allowed out there. And it became sort of like a refuge for me as well, because at that point, I was then having some personal health challenges, and sitting in that room gave me time to meditate and reflect. And particularly in 2007, this vision of Abella became very apparent to me, that I felt the need to do something with it. So the name Abella, which means my grandparents' first name, Arthur, my grandmother's name, Albina, and Bell, our family name, it just came to me. I wish I could just say how exactly, but it just came in my spirit. And then I kept focusing on a scripture to help me to figure out what was going on at that time, because again, I was facing a health challenge. But these are some things that it kept speaking to my spirit about. What does this mean? This going back home, finding peace and harmony, looking to, I call it, do more on the land than just having it there, not being used and supported in some way. So my focus was on a retreat, a place where people could come and relax, and we have programs and activities. These are all things that just kept coming to me. I've got notebooks and notebooks of things I've written down since 2007. It's been 18 years in this April, about what this vision was all about. So now we're back home in 2013. So from 2007 to 2013, the decision to come home happened. And this was Christmas of 2013. And again, you can see all this wonderful energy from my family that were there to celebrate Christmas with us. So during that time of coming back home, there was a lot of things going on. Again, I wanted my grandparents' home to continue to be filled with energy. My grandmother loved gatherings there. She was a wonderful cook, and we would have a lot of gatherings there. So during Christmas time, I got this idea of hanging these bells. So across the front of the porch there, I had each family bell designation. So like with my family, there were 6 of us. So there were 8 bells put together on one big bell. And then I mean, it was just, again, this brain of mine, all these visions and ideas just popping in my head. But it became fun, and family went along with me, because sometimes they know they have no choice but go along with some of my madness. But we would hold these gatherings down on the pond. There was always, again, opportunities just to gather, because that's what we did growing up on that farm. And that's what I think was drawing me back home, that sense of family and coming together and sharing. And then something else happened. The focus expanded from just the celebratory activities to now preserving a family legacy recipe. I remember from the time that I was a young girl, I could smell my grandmother making chow chow in this little kitchen there. And it was the most aromatic smell. And we would always say, can we eat it now? Can we eat it now? And grandma would tell us we have to wait a little while. But it's something she had been doing. And certainly with my mother being here next to her, learned to do that. So that process continued here in this home. You can see my mother on the left-hand side with a knife chopping up, because that food processor that my brother bought for her wasn't her thing. She wanted to chop her own vegetables up, do it the old-fashioned way. And she was doing that up until, well, she was 89 years old in that picture. And so God bless her, you know. So what did that mean for me and Preston being here? Well, he had been observing mother over these years while I was back and forth driving to Columbia to work, how to make this wonderful recipe. And so he and I, in November of 2020, went up to my grandmother's kitchen because, again, the kitchen was available to us. And we made our first batch without mother in that kitchen. And that was very significant for us. Again, this is a picture of all of us together. Again, my father had passed and my sister in 1998. And of course, mother in November of 2020. So we celebrate our recipe, our family recipe. We love to celebrate. So that's what we've done over the years. And from March of 2022 to December 2024, 6,471 jars of Mom Bell's Chow Chow has been produced, sold, and are donated. Now, we have not made that many jars. Preston and I can't do that. We have had to contract with a co-packer, which is a company now out of Spartanburg that has been working with us to produce our chow chow. And we're very pleased and happy with that partnership. Again, we continued to have all kind of gatherings. We didn't know we were doing agritourism or agribusiness at the time because this was all family and friends. But we enjoyed having our family and friends here on the property. I love coming up with ideas of what we can decorate next out there on the pond or on the farm. And I've been told I need to work on my little Santa Claus down there before I put him back out next time. And I'll do that, right, Brenda? Anyway. So again, we put tents down there. We've had all types of activities. The Bell men still cut hay. My brother and my Uncle James at age 91. This picture I took of him just the other day with that tractor because he was going down to the garden. But in 2019, this was a year after I retired, my brother Junior had been doing big farm gardens and all kinds of things, but I wanted a small garden. And I told him I wanted a small garden. I'm retired now and I want to grow things and want to do that. Well, the next thing I know, he has plowed up this big field in the back. And I didn't quite expect to have a field starting out like this, but what else can you do but get in there and start working this garden? But I noticed that the deer also love my garden, so I had to come up with some deer prevention. So why not put a pink flamingo, some bells, a rocking chair that was broken, and some pie pans out there and some fishing line and whatever else to keep the deer out of the garden. It worked. I can tell you we did not have much of a problem after that. And we grew things. We grew lots of watermelons that year. I tell you, it's a bumper crop, as we say. And that was the first time we'd grown watermelons in that space. And then Black Lives Matter. You know, we weren't gonna walk the streets down here and protest, but what could we do? So I told my brother to bring those hay bales, and I got out there and some spray paint, and we had our family to dress up and come out, and we took photos to at least put emphasis on how important Black lives are, and our family particularly. So those pictures are very powerful for me right now. Well, in 2021, I had to make an adjustment to my garden because this rotator cuff on my left shoulder had to be repaired. So that meant I can't dig in the dirt like I used to. So I told my brother, you got to build me a box so I can plant something inside and not have to dig down. So that's the first raised bed that we had built here in 2021. And I grew some beautiful new things like butternut squash. I'd never grown anything like that before. I just started experimenting with things. But then again, I found out how the beautiful bees and butterflies love flowering things. So of course, being a photographer, what did I do? I took lots of pictures. Some of you have seen lots of my pictures. And I just definitely enjoyed that. After Mother passed, one of the things that, and again, one of those visions or thoughts that I had was to have a way to remember her in a special place. She loved outdoors. She loved flowers. So with the family, we came together, and this beautiful fountain with the surrounding layout of the garden was established in December of 2021. My nephew, Julius Bell, was the one architectural designer of this beautiful space. And this beautiful space has been decorated for Christmas, for Valentine, for Easter. We've had, again, lots of gatherings outside. We also did a photo shoot for our 25th wedding anniversary out here in the garden. And then, wow, I said, I got help now on the farm because these two ladies decided they wanted to come and make their father's garden a special large garden for them to do what they wanted to do. So daughter Lauren and mother Stephanie joined the partnership with me with Bell's Grace, their business, Bell's Grace Farms LLC. And now we're like 3 women that just got all kind of ideas. So with all that, we felt we needed to at least have a team meeting with the men. So my brother and his son Julius met in January, and we did some strategic planning of what and how we're going to do this new enterprise of these 3 women running a farm. Well, the first thing they wanted to do was clear the rest of the land of their father's garden. So you can see that heavy duty equipment went out there and lots of clearing. And then now they've got over an acre of farmland for garden. And then Stephanie took a woodworking class so we could build these raised beds. I tell you what, I'm not quite as adventurous like that, but I did do my part. You can see me there pretending I'm doing something, but there's Uncle James right there with us, you know, age 90. And then Lauren had me put all these seeds in these little containers. I've never done it. I just bought my plants and put them in the ground. But she said, oh, no, we've got to start our own seedlings and da, 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 da. So I'm like, okay. I decided I would do it. And that's what I did. And then there was time now it's time to get started planting. And you can see Lauren is on the back of that tractor as if she has been doing this all of her life. For those who don't know, Lauren is a lawyer at Wells Fargo in Charlotte, but somehow she and her mother have become, I call it, the most educated farming gardeners that I know right now because they've taught me a lot. And we just became the Soil Sisters, t-shirts and all, with our names on them. And again, I'm just grateful because they have energized me. I have seen so much of excitement for what we're trying to do together. And that's what we're excited about our partnership. We've put fencing in, so we don't have the pink flamingo and the rocking chair and the fishing line anymore. We got high-end fencing, 8 foot tall, so no deer are coming in our garden to eat our wonderful vegetables. And last year, if it wasn't so hot and dry, we would have had a whole lot more of these beautiful things that grew. Lauren and Stephanie's beds were irrigated quite well, so they had the early part of their garden doing quite well. And of course, Uncle James kept his little spot. He gave up his big spot to him, but there he is out there. And over there on the other side on the tractor, he was out there plowing the garden. What's today? Thursday? That was either Monday or Tuesday of this week because he felt he needed to get out there to do that. Our big event, our Sand Hills Ag Art Festival. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful day that was. It was a hard working day to get it done, but boy, it was a wonderful event. So we now open up our farm to the community. We had all types of activities. We had music, we had a food truck, we had tours of our garden, we had presentations by this wonderful Grow Well group and other partners. And again, the children just enjoyed themselves, just being outside and the laughter and the fun. And again, we're looking forward to our second Sandhill Festival come this fall. So look out for the date. We'll let you know. So what's the future plans for Arbella? Well, we're going to get that conference center. I know it's going to happen. I feel it. I've prayed about it. It's going to happen. We're going to have outdoor concerts. We're going to host photo shoots, have a greenhouse, expand our partnership with the school since it's a farm to table school. We want to build tiny houses or cabins nearby. And I do want my tree house. Julius and I have talked about that tree house and where we should put it. So somehow we're going to get a tree house on this farm too. So come.
No boys allowed.
No boys allowed. So come visit us on our farmland. And
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You can't do that. That's against the law.
I was
Anyway.
wondering when I get some feedback, you know, we will allow y'all to help us build it.
So my truck bot, which stands for Brother Oliver's truck, was a donated truck to me, or a gifted truck, I should say, by way of a dear friend in Columbia who couldn't drive his truck after he developed Parkinson. And when he found out that I could drive that truck, and I told him, I said, Brother Oliver, if you ever want to sell this truck, I want to buy it. And so it was given to me with a $1 payment. And I have just treasured this truck for these many years it's been here. And then, in order to make things a lot more exciting on here, I got that beautiful umpo. And that means little bit in Italian. My grandfather used to call me a little bit. So now I've named my golf cart umpo, which means a little bit. So for generations, you have been moving things in our favor. We believe that God's hand has been a part of everything that has happened on this farm through these 98 years. In 2 years, this farm, the beginning of it will be 100 years old. So we are getting ready to count down to 2027. But in the meantime, we hope each of you, those who haven't been here and those who have, just come on down, enjoy Bella and Belle's Grace Farm. Thank you.
Good job.
Awesome.
That was
Awesome.
great.
Yes,
Nice
that was an
done.
awesome
Nicely
job,
done.
Miss Joyce. Do y'all have any questions at all?
I know some of my family and friends are here, and I thank you for coming and spending time tonight on this presentation. I'm very appreciative. And again, look forward to seeing you soon.
Well, I don't have a, may I? I don't
Okay.
have a question, but I do have a comment. After having known so much of this information for so many years, having lived through so much of this wonderful story for so many years, tonight's presentation was just so rich and so informative. It was like I had never heard or seen any of this. Wow, what a beautiful legacy. And it just makes me so proud to know that there are beautiful African Americans in the state of South Carolina who treasure what they have and who are actively involved in preserving what they have and sharing it all with the world, not only friends and family close by, but people all over this country know about Abella. They know about the beautiful property and the beautiful legacy that this family maintains. So thank you, Joyce. Thank you, my darling sister. This was incredibly rich and just wonderful. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. So very proud of you.
So this is Benita.
Hey, Benita.
Hey. And actually, we're in a similar situation. We have land that was passed down from our grandparents, and we have done what we need to do to maintain it. We're not farming it though. We're leasing it to others to farm. Um, but one area that I guess I wanted to ask not just Joyce, but the host, what about forestry? Is that part of what you would consider as available for grants? We are a member of the Forestry Commission because of the land, and we are interested in having somebody to do a um, inspection of our land to figure out what kind of opportunities that we have to either to begin to farm it in terms of forestry and or also sell the timber that's
Timber.
up there. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
Okay.
NRCS, which is Natural Resources Conservation.
Right. Okay.
And I know you probably have in Greenwood a county office, Department of Ag there.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, we have one in Aiken, of course, Aiken County, and they're coming out on our farm next Tuesday, right, Stephanie? If you're there.
Yeah, I'm there. Couldn't hit my microphone. Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Tuesday.
And Natasha, you may be able to speak and give her a lot more information than I have, because again, we're still new and I am learning about these different programs and services, but I know forestry is one of the programs that's through the natural resources, isn't it, Natasha?
Absolutely. Very, very great resources that you gave. So we can't tell that you new to it. You locked in, Miss Joyce. You locked in. Uh, Miss Vanetta, I'm not so you're in South Carolina as
Yes,
well?
I'm in Greenwood, about
Greenwood. Okay.
hour away from Joyce. Joyce has actually been to
Yes.
part of the land where
Okay.
we we have 4 houses, well, actually 3 that have been turned into Airbnbs, and
Okay.
then that we're not interested in doing as much farming as we are making sure that the land stay in the family, and we're doing what we can because we don't have enough boots on the ground to do a lot of farming without allowing others to lease the land. And we have ponds. We have at least 5 ponds on the different sections of the land. So, and I have a vision for cabins and all that and walking trails and everything, but I don't think my family have the same vision that I have. So we're doing what we can to maintain the land
Okay.
in the yeah.
So forestry is a great one. They even
Yes, it
have
is.
some out there for the walking trails too. I would say another great resource for you to connect with is your Clemson Extension office.
Mhm.
They have so many programs
Mhm.
available, and also knowing and asking the question on who has funding that's available now, and if they are can just direct you
Hello?
where you need to go. I know that they also they have relationships with nonprofits and other community businesses where people are connecting to help the farmers get to where they're going. So they just pack full of resources. And I actually learned about a lot of theirs at the resource rodeo me and Joyce and I went to in Columbia, South Carolina. So very informative space. So I would say, in addition to what Miss Joyce said, just add in the Clemson Extension office and getting a contact there as well. But they have some great things out there for forestry. Left and right, they're wanting people to grow trees.
The
I
resource.
hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Hello?
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anyone else? Let me go ahead
Jerry
and mute
Bell.
that. Okay. Are there any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi there, I'm Alicia.
Hey.
Joyce, first of all, I absolutely loved your presentation and just learning about the history, other young lady said, very rich history, and it was just really inspiring too. So my question for you, so I don't have any experience with farming, but it's something that I would love to get into. So for someone who doesn't have experience and wants to start out super small, like, some a pot in the kitchen that eventually goes outside, like where would you recommend somebody starts, or like what kind of crop would you recommend? Thank you.
Is that question for me or Miss Joyce?
Well, that's my cousin Alicia. She's
Both,
gonna
Okay.
both.
Okay. Well,
Both.
Miss Joyce, since Miss Joyce is the guest, I'm definitely gonna let her speak, and then if I need to, I can come in and add some
well,
value.
yeah. Again, the first thing, the call the Zoom the other week, it says, "What do you like? What is it you like? Do you like tomatoes or do you like peppers? What is it you like?" So you want to start off with something maybe you like first that you want to grow, and do a little research about how to do that. And most things can be grown very easily, uh, small quantities, obviously, based on the right soil and the right temperature, light, you need moisture and all that kind of thing to make sure. But certainly, start small with something that you like growing. But it's trial by error. I can tell you one thing. I just get out there sometime, and that's what I've done a few times. But we're going to be more strategic, right, Stephanie? We're going to plan and organize a little bit better with just not throwing and growing any and everything. We've been fortunate on some things, but certainly reading about and learning about, and there are webinars, there are resource online, other types of things that can help you. But Alicia, you're going to come up here and work with us, and we will be more than happy to assist you in starting out your garden, and even you can use some of our space for your starting point for the garden, because you're right down the street from us.
My own little corner. I
There you
appreciate
go.
that.
There you can have. Listen, Stephanie got 9. How many boxes you got, Stephanie? 9, 10. I got 7, 8. You can have 3 of them.
That's right.
It's
And,
a
and grow
deal.
and grow for joy. Just do
Yeah,
what makes you happy out there.
that's it. That's right.
Thank you so much.
Any other
Judy,
questions for Miss Joyce? Uh-oh.
Judy, you're not talking. You always have something good to say.
My heart is full as to how you integrated just life, the life through the greater political scheme, the community, intertwined with your life, your lived experiences. I'm just full. You can always hear from me. Anybody can give me a call, but we don't always get a chance to hear the richness that you gave tonight. And I'm just telling you, my heart is just truly full. So thank you for
Well,
sharing.
you are a great resource, Judy, and we certainly will be tapping into your expertise. As you know, we've said that already.
Absolutely. And I look forward to that. So
Yeah.
I must add, Ms.
Go ahead.
You talked about the forestry, you talk about legacy and generations. I'm not sure if you looked into land trust, and there are 2 that cover this area. I'd like to get that information to you. So I don't know if you want to put your information in the chat, or I can reach out to Joyce for your information. We'll get that information to you about land trusts.
Unmute, Vanita. She may be putting it in the chat. If not, I know how to.
I can put it in the chat. Now we do have. We've recently put our land, most of it in a trust. Some of it is not, but that's
good.
So yeah, I'll put my information in chat, but you can always get it from Joyce.
Yes, I could do that.
Yeah, she, like I said, she, she and my husband's been friends for 50 years. And so as a result, friends.
I've known him since he was 18 before I knew her.
You're right. But my husband is not a farmer. We have made him into
But if you don't mind, you can do a direct message to me. It doesn't have to be to everyone. And I'd be more than happy to reach out to you and just chat a bit.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. And anyone who's interested, we are working with new and beginning farmers, foresters. And so anyone who would like some additional information or just want a listening ear, and then from there, we can find out how to connect you with community-based resources. You can, direct message me here or just put it in the chat for everyone, and I'll take your name and number down, and I'd be happy to reach out to you. Thank you so much. And again, thank you, Joyce. And welcome back, Stephanie. So glad you're back. And my little partners in the frame there, Carmen, just a shout out to Carmen. Carmen does affirmations every morning, and she reminded me to do my affirmations. She just brings life. So, hey, Carmen.
And she'll be 5 years old tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate everybody for coming on this evening today. Tonight was very informative. Great information, Miss Joyce. It is definitely a beautiful space that you and your family have. That is the definition of what we want generational wealth to look like, to start there, to work together, to come together, continue to grow, build legacy, and just to see your family support. And it goes beyond blood. Their family that logged in this evening, that chosen family as well, and they're here for support. So this is a beautiful space. Again, my name is Natasha Janelle. I am the host of Talking with the Land People, and we are here to assist new beginning women and veteran farmers with resources. So, as Judy said, you can definitely reach out, and we're here for a listening ear, get you connected to resources. Um, and please come back. We're here every third Thursday using the same link. You can come in and join us for a new guest speaker. And then moving forward, we'll also be having some panel style meetings as well, just to have an influx of resources. So always bring your pen and your paper, be full of questions, because we're going to have so many answers, as many as possible. And what we don't know, we're going to find out, right? So if that is all for this evening, if anybody else have any questions.
Hey, Annette. I'm seeing people I hadn't seen yet. So
yeah. Well, this was beautiful. Thank you so much.
I noticed you didn't mention your pecan rolls.
Okay. Let's and let's just get that clear. They're called now Stubby's cinnamon rolls.
Oh, I can do this. I'm too fast.
They've got official names. So yeah. Hey, Lois.
Hey, I just wanted to comment and say that I've used some of the Winkler's vegetables to put in some mason jars and do some canning and pickling.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But she does wonderful jams and
Yes,
jellies as well.
he
So
does.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this was beautiful. Mwah!
Yeah. Thank you,
Beautiful.
all of you, for coming on.
Just beautiful.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate everybody for coming on. Hopefully, we will see everyone back on next third Thursday. And what's this? So March is coming up. So again, every third Thursday, we're here at 7 p.m. Come back for resources, information, and connecting with other farmers, finding out about their journeys, and hopefully we'll see some of you come back and you guys can talk about your journey. So we look forward to hearing it.
Well, thank you so much.
And have a
Thank
good night.
you, all
Thank
of you.
you.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Nice
Good
job,
night.
Joyce.
Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Bye bye.